What's going on? What's going on, man? Oh, what a time to be involved in battle rap, man. I can absolutely say that. We are super busy, man. It just seems we got an event after an event after an event after an event, man. We got the Max Out card. We just had Double Impact. They just dropped the super fight card. KOTD got something. The Riot literally just dropped something on YouTube. I just got that notification, man. It is a lot going on in the culture of battle rap, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I am Mr. Check the Temperature, man, and this is Temperature Check every Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. I will be live talking to you guys, the viewers, man, about anything and everything. And today we have a very special guest, man. Definitely someone who I personally admire, not only for who he is in the battle rap community, but more so what he is outside of the battle rap community, man. So I'm super excited for the opportunity to interview this young brother, man. He is not only a battle rapper, he is not only a community activist, not only is he Oscar nominated, man. He when you think about people that are just well rounded in a lot of different things, man, you definitely talking about Oops. So definitely gonna have him on the channel here soon, man. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. Shout out to Bumpy Bars, man. Shout out to Young Cola, man, my big bro from the Migos Squad, definitely. Shout out to Black Compass Media, Bars and Brunch, Debo, everybody over there. Let's Talk Battle Rap, Dead Ass Talk, Weed and Battles, Slizzy, Power Circle, man. Just shout out to everybody, man. Everybody in the battle rap community. Jimmy Water, man. Shout out to him as well, man. But again, man, we will be having Oops on the show today, so I'm super excited for the opportunity. Me and him both being from St. Louis, man. Again, let me give him the proper introduction, man. This is a brother who is not only a battle rapper who just made his URL debut on Born Legacy, he is also a community activist, man. He is former 78th district representative for the state of Missouri. He is Oscar nominated, man. If I was just I can't, the accolades just go on and on, man. But a lot of you guys know him as Bruce Franks, but the homies, they call him Oops, man. So let me bring him in. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what up? What up? What up?
What's going on, family? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, fam. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
No, it's an honor and a pleasure, man, to have you on the show, man. First and foremost, man, I definitely want to give my condolences to you on your brother, man. No matter how long it's been, man, that loss is that loss is heavy.
Hey, and the same, and realistically, family, the same to you. Like to what it's now like to be in an unfortunate club. When it comes to siblings, but that provides us with a different motivation as well. And
Absolutely.
so just know that same condolences is extended to you, bro, and your whole family.
No, I definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. But I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on, man. We can go a lot of different ways with this. But for me personally, man, I wanna before we get into the battle rap stuff, man, I really want to talk to you about August 9th, 2014, and what that date means to you.
Wow. Yeah. I tell folks all the time it's like it's a bittersweet day. And that's like, that's just for lack of a better term for it. August 9th is my son's birthday. My son was born on August 9th, 2013. 2014, he turned 1 years old. On that same day, Michael Brown was killed by Darren Wilson from the Ferguson Police Department. And that was the day I woke up. That was the day everything. This is a day that changed my life. When people often say, "Hey, people can't change overnight. You can't change people overnight." I absolutely changed overnight because I wasn't the same person. August 9th that I was August 8th. August 8th, I remember going to sleep and
I think we got a little bit of
was like
lagging.
Money in the Bank. I'm out here rapping. Oh, we good? We good now?
Good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we good. We good. We back on.
Yeah, but it was like you know, I got all these things going on, but my life wasn't complete. So I thought, you know, so August 9th ignited that fight in me.
No, absolutely. I think for me, man, August 9th, you know, I moved out of St. Louis in 2006 after I graduated. And I never came back. It just for me personally, it was one of those situations where I knew what the city had to offer, and I didn't want that for myself. I wanted to, I always wanted to come back, and you know what I'm saying. Me and my brothers and my sister, we always talked about us all coming back to St. Louis and raising our kids together. But you know, when you have an unfortunate event like my family had, like it changes things.
Facts.
It absolutely changes things. So August 9th happens, man. So are you in Ferguson when this happens? Like how do you hear the news about what happened?
Oh, so as you know, one of our hip hop brothers and like somebody close to me, Tough Poe, on his social media, I think it was Twitter, if I'm mistaken. His Twitter was his Twitter said had Mike Brown's stepfather. Mike Brown's stepfather had a cardboard with writing on it that said Ferguson police just killed my son. I was like, damn. But quickly in my head, I just went back to what we know is normal. I know a lot of people that got killed by the police. I know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it didn't hit me yet. I got back online and I started seeing those pictures of that young man's body in that street. You know, I started seeing the videos of people talking about it, videos of people crying, videos of, you know, folks starting to gather. I don't know why. You know, it wasn't a let me run out here and see what's going on. I'm from the hood. Like we never ran towards. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
we was always running away. And so for me,
absolutely.
it was like it was different. It was like it wasn't a, oh, let me go out here and clout chase or nothing like that. Because in St. Louis, I already had a name. I was already, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it wasn't none other than something drew me out there. And you know, seeing his body on that ground it hit me a whole different way. It's a difference than you waking up the next morning and hearing, oh, so and so got shot by the police or so and so did this, but like seeing it was like, nah, something ain't right. And so, you know, I ain't looked back since then. I ain't my whole since then. I haven't thought the same way. I haven't moved the same way. I haven't fought, felt, or anything the same way I did pre-August 9th.
Okay, no, that's definitely powerful, man. So obviously, you know what I'm saying, you have that instant change and um what you just start advocating for yourself in that moment. Are you know what I'm saying, you advocating for yourself? Are you advocating for your son at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your mentality moving forward? Like, how do you go from, you know what I'm saying, what you were doing August 9th to standing on the steps trying to write bills? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's a
it's
fact.
a hell of a journey in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's an example of us as people how we always forced to adapt. You know, black people have been forced to adapt to so many different things, right? We've been forced to adapt to change. We've been forced to adapt to politics. We've been forced to adapt to these different things. And so for me, it was kind of this adaptation of, you know, I seen what was going on in my hood besides the police, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fight this gun violence that's going on in my community too, as well as hold the police accountable and fight for police accountability. And so I was advocating for the hood. I was advocating for me, my kids, your kids, everybody cousins, uncles, brothers, everybody. you know. And it was this thing of what can I help provide in our communities that may have been missing from my community. I'm from 4300 Gibson, and Gibson don't look like it used to look back when we were growing up. Right now,
Mhm.
Gibson is gentrified, and yoga studios and coffee shops, and you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't be caught. You wouldn't be caught walking out the 8. You know what I'm saying? Back when we grew up, and so, but my brother was killed in my community, like, and I always took it back to what would have saved my brother. What would have saved my brother is those two men who committed that, you know, that who killed my brother. If they had, and this ain't making an excuse for them, it's just living in a reality, right? Like if they had the adequate education in our community, if they had, um, access to mental health care, if they had all the things that's missing out of our community, it wouldn't be no need for them to be in the lifestyle that they in. So it's not saying, oh, they're off the hook. It's just saying the reality is, if I'm gonna fight from the root cause, I'm gonna fight from the root cause. So I don't get to pick and choose when that root cause is a effect. You know what I'm saying? Even if it hits my front door, And so I've kind of kept that close to me, and then that's what pushed me to start fighting in the community. Then the community was like, "Hey, we need you to run for office." I'm like, "Run for office? Y'all crazy? I'm not running for no office." Like, I barely vote. I'm talking about running for office, but they quickly, what's for you is for you. You know what I'm saying? And your road, I firmly believe that your road is already destined. It's just we just got to figure it out. And following the community's lead, following the people's lead, they led me into office. And that's why I spent 3 years there, fighting at all costs, giving everything in me, to advance our policies and what we need. Something that we don't see too often, and we probably ain't never seen in St. Louis up until this point.
Oh, absolutely. So I got a couple more questions, and we're gonna switch topic.
All
Um,
good. Whatever you, I'm here for you, bro. So whatever, it's an open book.
but I need the people to understand what does the 78th district look like for the state of Missouri?
78 district looks like 78 district looks like some of the poorest parts of your city and some of the richest parts of your city, all in one walk. Right? I had the South Side, and for those from Missouri and St. Louis, I had the South Side as far south as Anheuser-Busch. I had the North Side as far as 70 and Grand. You know what I'm saying? I had everything to the river leading over to Illinois. And then everything as far west is um, probably like downtown area. You know what I'm saying? So I had the downtown, our north side, our south side, then our projects, right? We got, as we got like what was in my district was the Peabody, O'Fallon
Yeah.
Place, the Cochran, right? Carr Square. You know what I'm saying? Like them was all in my district. And I felt good about it because these are my people, all of them. I don't care what you claim. I don't care where you from. Like we all got same challenges and barriers. I don't care blood, crip, tall, short, pink, yellow, whatever. Like
Mhm.
it was good representing the hood because them the same communities that came out to vote that don't normally vote at the rate that they voted. Because they not only saw somebody that looked like them, but they were familiar with the person that was running. They knew me. You know what I'm saying? And so my district looked very disenfranchised, over 78% black. You know what I'm saying? Uh over 80, 85, 90, 85% minority as a whole. Like I'm like if you take your Chicago's, if you take your Baltimore's, different places, our cities are one and the same, y'all. And so the 78 district looked like that part of the hood that you from that was, threatened by gentrification in a lot of places, and poverty was played on in the other places.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. So on your journey to becoming a politician, who were some of the key people that helped you get to where you had to go? Who were some of the kind of people to kind of take you off to the side and kind of tell you, okay, if this is what you're really trying to do and you're really serious about it, let me help you. Let me show you how to do this.
Nobody. Not one politician, not one older person, not one, you know what I'm saying? Everybody I learned with, we was learning at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like Rasheen Aldridge, you know, who took my place as state rep. We was learning at the same time. Cori Bush, who is now the congresswoman, we were learning at the same time. Like we was all learning. We was all basically drinking from a fire hydrant. You know what I'm saying? Like those people who could have passed the torch, those people who could have passed that knowledge, like nobody passed it down because we were too big of threats to the system. We was too big of threats to that comfortability in black establishment, moderate politics. You know what I'm saying? Like we was coming in and shaking a tree and saying, "No, you can't do this. Yes, we can defund the police. Yes, we can fight against the police. Yes, we don't need police endorsement. Yet all these different things, right? They weren't trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to give us. They weren't trying to say, okay, well, if you're gonna do this, because if you look at it, we came in running against the black establishment. Like we ran against heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? So when we ran against heavyweights, the city came out for them. The congressmen, the mayors, you know what I'm saying? Like they came out for them. And so we was left to fend for ourselves with the hood. And the hood is, I mean, I'll take the hood over anything. I'll take my people over anything. So the people that poured into me was the community, right? And those activists and some of the folks that ran right alongside of me, and I ran alongside of them. Like that's where the push came from. That's where the knowledge came from. It was a bunch of trial and error, and it was a bunch of messing up because we didn't have that institutional knowledge, but it wasn't because we didn't want it. It was because we wasn't willing to play the game like they wanted to. You know, they told all of us to wait our turn. And for everybody that's listening and never gonna hear this, I say this all the time. If somebody tell you to wait your turn, then it's probably your turn.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, I just rewatched the documentary, St. Louis Superman. You just watched that on Pluto. You know what I'm saying? If everyone needs to go check that out. You need to go watch that. Especially if you're from St. Louis, man. You definitely, it's just a reminder of where we were at and how we have progressed, but in the same ways, how things are still the same. Oops, you there? He definitely blacked out real quick, but you had a quote in your movie, in the documentary. You said you had attended at that point in time 167 funerals.
Yeah, and it's over 200 now.
That was my follow-up question. What do you think that number is at right now?
It's over 200. I actually after two something I stopped counting. I also stopped going. Like I finally was like, you know, it was while because I moved here to Arizona, and I think the first person I lost when I moved here was my god brother Jason. You know, and I couldn't even attend. Like I got there, I actually went back. You know what I'm saying? Pulled up. You know, like it just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I eventually stopped. You know, but I went to for those from St. Louis, and actually outside of St. Louis, Huey. That's my little cousin. That was my little cousin. And so yeah, Lawrence Franks Jr. That's his dad and my dad's brothers. And we got close. You know what I'm saying? We weren't always close, but once it was one of those things where you find out this your cousin, you're like, ah, you know what I'm saying? And so we definitely got, once we found out we was cousins, though, it was a wrap. You know, so it was 10 years we just start jamming. And so that was if I ain't mistaken, that was the last one. No, Mr. White was. Mr. White died from COVID. That was one of my best friends, his dad. But yeah, it was. I mean, it's been it's been a lot, and you don't trip off of it until you start, like, once I started getting help for my depression and anxiety. Once I first got diagnosed and like actually took some serious steps, that's when I started to realize that what I was going through wasn't normal. I looked around, everybody go through a lot of funerals. I'm like, all right, cool. But the more and more people you talk to, you like, I know people that's 50 years old that ain't been to 10 funerals in their life.
No, that's a
And that
fact.
seemed far fetched for me. But then you tell them, hey, I've been to 100 something or 200. They like, and then they think like, it's not like it was 200 random people. Like, these are people that's close in my life. These people that was close to me. These people that meant something to me, and still do. So I try not to, if I can stand not going, I try not to do that no more.
No, absolutely. I mean, and just condolences to the ones that we have lost, man, and have transitioned on. So when I say HCR 70, what does that mean to you?
That means my brother's legacy. It means something tangible for the community. It means real solution, not a band-aid on the problem. HCR 70, House Concurrent Resolution 70, was the bill that I passed, um, which was a really big deal because I passed a bill in a highly Republican legislature where the governor signed into law. So this is a law in Missouri for forever. Um, and this bill, the most important part of the bill for me is that um, it's it identifies youth violence as a public health epidemic. So it talks about the root causes and is meant to provide resources in those communities where violence is a public health issue, and resources should be provided for to aid to that public health, right? Whatever those public health conditions are, which are housing, which are beautifications in our community, access to health care, adequate education, all of these different things. So now Missouri identifies youth violence as a public health epidemic. So when you talk about resources and we talk about CDC numbers and all these different things, um, that's big. Then it also identifies June 7th, the day my brother was killed, 1991. It identifies June 7th as Christopher Harris Day. Every June 7th for the rest of history will always be Christopher Harris Day in Missouri. you know. And so that was big for not just me but our community and Missouri as a whole, because we see the gun violence and we see what's happening in our community. And so to be able to be a part of the change and be a part of the policy solution, um, that was a big deal for me.
No, absolutely. I think it was definitely one of the things that obviously stood out in the film for me. Knowing that you have been, how many times did you actually attempt to get that bill passed?
So it was twice. It was two times, and the first time we was actually cruising. It passed out of the House 154-1. You know what I'm saying? It made it through all the Senate committees, but it never made it to the Senate floor at first year. So the
Hmm.
second year, I spent a lot of time working behind the scenes with Senator Nasheed, a couple other folks, the lieutenant governor at the time, who is now the governor, Mike Parson, um, pushing it through. And so it was pretty wild to go through that process and excuse me and be successful in it, because it's a lot of it's hard to pass bills in Missouri as a Democrat. You know,
I don't think, you know what I'm saying. I don't think people realize like what Missouri actually is. You know what I'm saying? Because we focus in so much on St. Louis. St. Louis grabs so much of the attention, but people don't realize like that's a blip on the entire map of St. Louis.
Missouri was the last state to abolish slavery, like, and it shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still it's still parts of Missouri that look like parts of A Time to Kill, parts of every
That's a fact.
racist 1950, 60 movie, 60 situation that you didn't see or that we envision in our minds. Like, still people running around here with Confederate flags and, forgot that they lost the war. Like, like that's Missouri. In the legislature, they got 163 seats. 117 of those seats was Republican when I was there. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a Senate where 80% of the Senate was Republican. Every statewide seat except for one was Republican. Like the governor's office, Republican. Like a state that voted for Trump by double digit points, like he won. It wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Missouri is Missouri's fucked up.
No, it definitely is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm living in Omaha, Nebraska now, like making that drive, you know what I'm saying? It's uncomfortable. Once you get to like it's like Kansas City, and then it's like nothing till you get to like Columbia. That's an uncomfortable drive, man, when you see them state troopers on that highway.
Especially coming from the West. Like
Yeah.
coming that way. Uh, yeah, right. Like I don't have to drive that. If I ain't got to drive that, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm driving at noon. Like I'm driving middle of the day. I'm not.
My windows rolled down.
two lane highways. Nah, man. Between the deer and the police, I'm good. I don't want no smoke.
No, that's a fact. So let me ask you this. I'm pretty sure you've been asked this before, but do you see yourself going back?
On the surface, I say no, because I go back and forth all the time, especially being here in Arizona with so much stuff that's happening now here. I say no, and then it's always that inkling of, all right, well, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should do this because I got the know-how and I got the, you know what I'm saying? I got the fight, I got the strategy, and then I start to have PTSD with what politics put me through.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing about being a politician is operating as a politician and you're not a politician. It's easy to be a politician if that's that's how you operate. You move in this world of politics. This is what you always wanted. You got higher expectations. You know how to play the game. You willing to play the game. You willing to wheel and deal. It's easy. When you actually give a fuck, that's when it's hard. When you don't care about the politics, you don't care about the party lines, when you don't care about none of that, you just care about doing for your people, that's when it get hard. And because I was that person, because I was the same person in the battle ring, in the streets, protesting, as I was on the House floor, they didn't know what to do with me. Nobody did. Republicans, Democrats, they didn't know what to do with me. And I posed a real problem for the establishment Democrats because I was different than what they was used to. And I wasn't willing to conform. I wasn't willing to play this game. I was going to speak up, speak out. I was going to vote with my conscience and not on party lines. Like, they didn't like that. And there wasn't no way for them to really check me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the street, so you're not finna do none of the normal stuff you do to people. Like, y'all not finna, nah. Like, it's people that love me out here. Like, it's gonna be a whole problem. Something happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was more so of I'll attack his character, right? I'll tear him down as a person. And to a certain extent, for a little bit, it worked. That'll never happen again, even if I hop back in politics, as I'm well aware of. You only gonna get me once. I ain't gonna lose two fights to the same person. I'll lose that first one, but I ain't losing that second fight. And that ain't no different for politics.
Okay. No, I definitely respect that. No, that's for sure. So obviously the documentary drops, man, and it's doing. You're obviously getting you're getting good comments, you're getting good reviews, you're getting good feedback. at what point does the Oscars come into play? And what is that? What is that? You know what I'm saying? What is that phone call, that email, that I don't know, you know what I'm saying? They talk to your agent. Like, how does that even, you know what I'm saying? You from St. Louis, so I'm like, how did we go from St. Louis to the Oscars, man?
Shit, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's like, so I had an amazing team, right? Amazing team of filmmakers who are family to me now. It became much bigger than the film. Smriti Mundra, Sammy Khan, Poe, Cheyenne, Danielle, who was my assistant and one of my closest friends. Um, you know, Chris, Jerry, everybody, Mike, everybody who worked on the film, right? Al Jazeera, MTV. And so when we finished the film, the idea was, hey, we're gonna enter into some film festivals. It'll get played a little bit. We're gonna air on Al Jazeera, which is worldwide, so that's big within itself. Like it air on Al Jazeera, that's millions of views by itself, right? And so bet, cool, we good. We go to one of my favorite places in the whole world I never knew existed till we went here. We went to Missoula, Montana, to the Big Sky Film Festival, right? It's one of the best places I've ever been. Like, I love this place. If it wasn't so cold up there, I'd move my whole family there. We just start over in Missoula. But so we get to Missoula, Montana, fall in love with the place. I'll tell you a story. I went on a radio show. They was doing interviews, and it was an ESPN radio show up there. But they talk about everything. So I was like, cool, bet. So I never judge. I try not to. We all do one way or another, but I try not to ever judge because I get judged by my appearance a lot. So I try not to do that. I walk into this and see these two dudes, right? They got their camouflage, look like hunting gear on. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Black lives versus all lives, blue lives, black lives. Man. I did. I ain't gonna stunt. Man, when I say these brothers, you know what I'm saying? I call them my white brothers. When I say they was so aware and on point with what's going on, like they brought up police brutality. They talked about white privilege and like they was going. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in the right place. Do all the white people down here feel like that? Because if they do, we good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And so, that whole experience. But when we won, they were like, we won the film festival in our category, in our short, in short documentaries. And so they were like, all right, this is an Oscar qualifying film festival. I can admit now, at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, all right, cool. We qualify, probably thousands of people qualify for the Oscars, hundreds of thousands, like, cool. We kept winning film festivals. Like, no matter where we went, no matter what part of the country we went to, no matter what part of the world we went to, we just kept winning. And people kept being captivated by the story. And when we went to Tribeca, which is, arguably the biggest film festival in New York, Sheila Nevins wanted the film, and she worked with Al Jazeera. They worked it out, and she was starting MTV documentaries, and it was MTV's first documentary. And when they got involved and they hooked up with Al Jazeera, they just started working on that end. We started working on our end, showing up to these festivals and talking and, rubbing elbows, but really just doing what we do. And we made the short list first. And it was like, I bet we made the short list. Dope. And then January, they're like, okay, it's going to be the announcement show. And you don't know. You don't know before the announcement hit. So it's all suspense. So it's either like the greatest moment of your life or like some heartbreaking shit. Like you're going to find out live and direct. And, I was sitting there in the room. I was sitting in the hotel room. And they started naming the films. And I didn't pay attention that they did them in alphabetical order. And so by the third one, I was like, well, look, Made the short list. Like, what more can you say? You know what I'm saying? We good. We wasn't even supposed to be here. Let them tell it. You know, I'm from the hood, so any
Just
any
happy.
notoriety, right? Like, and when them folks said St. Louis Superman, I think I bounced around the room like a pinball. You know what I'm saying? Like with 1,000
Absolutely.
different emotions. I laughed, I got mad, I cried, then was happy again. It was like a bunch of different emotions. Because for me, the poetic justice thing about it was like a year ago. A year ago, right? Like y'all literally was dogging me in my own state, right? Like y'all drug me through the mud for this work that I do. And now on one of the biggest platforms in the world, like they're recognizing our work. And the name of the film is St. Louis Superman. And I didn't have to play Malcolm X. I didn't have to act like Martin Luther King. I didn't have to play another role. Like I got nominated for being myself. The one thing they ridiculed me for is now what's uplifting me on one of the biggest platforms on in the world. It wasn't like after that, after I like totally encompassed that, it wasn't nothing they could tell me. None the city could tell me, none naysayers, nobody. From the hood, I'm for 4300 Gibson, man. I've been to 200 films. My brother got killed in 1991. Like, I'm in fighting gun violence. I've been in the streets, pepper spray, tear gas, put my life on the line for people I don't know, people I love. Like, to get to this point, man, I'm good. I'm good. So, whatever come after this, it's extra credit. You know, I'm still gonna fight. I'm still gonna do what I do. But at this point, can't nobody question mine. They can't question nothing about me. They can't question nothing about the fight.
No, absolutely. Do you see yourself making any more films or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I'm working on some films now. Actually, working on a couple short films. Working on an animated series called King and I. About black conversations black fathers got to have with they sons. You know, working on a couple TV show ideas. St. Louis Superman, the feature film, is in the works. Actually, paperwork already been signed. So
Okay.
like, yeah, it's about to be like,
We moving and
yeah,
grooving.
yeah, yeah. So we about to. It's one that it's fire. It's fire too. Like I can't even. I was just reading the script the other day, and it was like reading it. It's like, damn, this happening. You know what I'm saying? And so
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
no, I love that world. Like I love being able to tell our stories, and that's another world that need to be shaken up too. Like it's too many white people trying to tell our stories. Too many non-black people trying to tell our stories. There's too many people who don't have a good analysis or not willing to listen to those directly impacted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the dopest thing about my squad and our squad at St. Louis Superman is like I felt like I was just as much a filmmaker as them. And I ain't know nothing about filmmaking. But they let me tell the story, right? And they use
Mm.
their talents, they use, their superpowers to bring it all together to make it magic the way they did it. So it was a real collaborative effort, and I feel like those are the best filmmakers. So learning from them made me feel like, yeah, I could do this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not at their magnitude, but I got some input. I got some, I got a story to tell. I got some creativeness about it. So yeah.
So we got a question. She said, my girl asked, is there any info to a place where we can send a script or ideas?
So that's always hard because until they have these things, which I learned throughout this whole process. Um, they have different companies, different production companies, different places that have like these pitch opportunities where you can pitch stuff to people. So you want to look up where you can pitch, because that's like the term they use, where you can pitch scripts, pitch ideas, um, because it just depends on what you're writing and who you targeting, and what type of company, because some companies concentrate on nonfiction, right? Reality, documentary, so on and so forth, scripted and non-scripted, right? That's what they call it. And so um, it really just depends. So that's really, it's really about research and then getting in the right rooms and the right circles and, going from there.
Okay, no, absolutely. So, man, we have talked about the politics. We have talked about the documentary. Let's get into the fun stuff, man. Let's talk some a little bit more lighthearted, man. Let's talk some battle rap, man. So before we get actually into your battle with True Photo that I definitely want to talk about, man, it's a couple things going on in St. Louis, man. It's a couple people that have been flag bearers for the culture for the city that I kind of want to get your opinion on. First, first and foremost, Averb possibly allegedly retiring. What does if this is Averb's last hurrah, if he is going to sail off to that island and never be seen again, who and what is Averb to you?
Averb is, I don't even think is arguable. Um, I don't think it's arguable from St. Louis, but if you talk about battle rap in St. Louis, and we're gonna be specific, Averb is the godfather of battle rap in St. Louis. Like, he's the person along with Holla, along with Ill. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take anything away from their legend statuses because, you know, them my cats and they, we know what they put in the culture as well. Um, when I think of Averb, I think of that person that, you know, help, as an artist, as a battle rap artist, because I think of artists and league. Like when I think about leagues, I think about street status, right? I think
Mhm.
about people that put us on the map. I think about, it's street status. Um, but as a battle rapper, um, Verb is that. Verb is that one that, you know, for us and definitely my era, it was like Nelly and music, right? You say what you want about Nelly, but Nelly put St. Louis on the map.
It's a
You
fact.
know what I'm
That
saying?
is
I don't care how you feel about his music. I don't care
Nelly.
about, you know, Nelly. Nelly put up, and so I feel like battle rap wise, that's where Verb, and we talk about the Midwest movement. We talk about going into, like, Verb inadvertently taught me, like not directly, but inadvertently taught me how to go into these places and feel comfortable. Um, 85% of my battles, I said in the True Folk move, 85% of my battles been road games. You know what I'm
You
saying?
already,
So
you
like,
already know I got the bar written
yeah.
down. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
yeah. So most of my battles been road games, and he, inadvertently taught me how to go into these spots, um, go in these spots and like perform on that level, knowing that chances are they ain't rooting for you off the back, or they might not. You know what I'm saying? He also caused us a lot of grief because when we go out of town, they're like, "Are you from St. Louis? You going to Averb Potter?" It's all good though. One thing about it though, like me and Verb, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna act like, we had barbecues together and shit like that. But whenever we was on the same card in the same city, it was always you know how St. Louis do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even if we don't necessarily link all the time in the city or operate in this, when we get out of town, it's a different story. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
we walk
we
in
don't
and walk
rock.
out.
We can hate each other at home.
Exactly.
But when we get outside, like, nah, you from St. Louis? You from the mid? I bet we good. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
but I got nothing but respect for him and what he's done. Um, as a fan, of course, the last couple performances, I wasn't, as a fan, I wasn't pleased with, right? I went to Nome to see him versus Lux, right? Like, I wasn't on the card. I wasn't, I came to
Mhm.
Houston to see him because that was a big battle. You know what I'm saying? For him and for the city. That's something, that's legend status. And so we definitely showed up as a whole from different roads in St. Louis, and we showed up and showed out. Um, but you can't take nothing away from Verb. You can't take none away from what he's done for the culture and what he's done to the culture. And having some of the classic moments. Him and Holla will always be a classic moment. A Big Drill will always be a classic bar. Guardian Angels, like that will always be a classic bar. Going up to New York in the cold, like outside, like that's classic. Him versus Hollow, that's like that's battle. Those are battle rap moments. You know, it's not just a base moments in history. Like when they rewind the reels for battle rap, like those are things that will be in there.
No, absolutely. Averb is a GOAT, I think, you know what I'm saying? Obviously within our city, but I think he has to be, no matter how you feel about him, you know what I'm saying, now, do not judge him on these past few battles, man. The totality of that man's career, man. You talking about one of the greatest to ever do it. Yeah, man, he's giving us moments, and he put, like you said, he put not just St. Louis, not just Missouri, but the entire Midwest on us back, and was unapologetic about it, man. So, I think if this is Averb's retirement, if he is, you know what I'm saying, finished with battle rap, man, a hell of a career, man. Salute to him, and nothing but blessings coming his way in whatever he plans to do.
That's a fact.
But you mentioned another icon, I would say, in battle rap history. We talking about St. Louis, who just had a birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, little bro.
Is battling on April 3rd on the Max Out card. I just bought my pay-per-view today because, you know, we do things last minute. Had to wait for the stimmy to hit. But Hitman Holla versus Cassidy, Maxed Out, RBE. I know you saw the face-off. It's been the face-off has done 2 million in a very short amount of time. What did you think about the face-off? What do you think about the battle? And what do you think about Hitman Holla?
I didn't like the face-off because anybody that knows or ever seen me do a face-off, like I don't sell fights. All right, like that ain't my job to sell a fight. My job is to get in there and do what it is people expect me to do. I'm not saying that they were selling a fight. I know Cassidy is always selling a fight. I know Hitman from St. Louis, and
you know, everybody that sees that video be like, "Well, what you expect was gonna happen? What you think was gonna happen?"
Yeah, bro got a short circuit, so I already know. But it as a whole, I wasn't a fan of it. I know how it got people excited. It got 2 million views. I'm glad it ended the way it ended, and it didn't go further. And so for all of those things, congratulations, to that, to RBE and the platform for, having a face off that's, more than a lot of folks battle. Hitman 3-0, no debate. Ain't no need for me to. It's nothing to talk about. I don't need to. If somebody feels I need to bring logic to that, then obviously they haven't watched Cassidy battle and they haven't watched Hitman battle. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me think that Cassidy will win a bar. Not just a round, not just a line, but like not one. He won't even say 2 words better than what this man gonna put together. And there's no way anybody can convince me of anything differently. Is it a big battle? Of course it's a big battle. You got somebody like Cassidy who's a big draw, who's a big name, who promotes very well, who brings thousands and thousands and thousands, to the culture when he raps. Then you got Hitman, who is one of the most viewed, most respected, best performer we have, of our time, in battle rap. Of course, it's a big battle. I don't care for Cassidy battling. Like that's just, and I'm a Cassidy fan as a music and as an artist, but I just don't care for Cassidy battling. It's okay. I think Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player on earth, but he's a horrible fucking baseball player. Right? Like I hated him in baseball, right? Like you cannot that's okay to say, right? That's okay to feel that way. you know, and that's how I feel. And so, um, you know, that's just the real love. And Holla's a goat too. Um, you know, and by the end of it, we'll be doing the same thing when bro decides to retire. Because people gotta understand, Holla came into it young too. You
Yeah,
know what
he
I'm saying?
wasn't too
Like,
chronic or
yeah, Holly came when Holland Ill was happening at African Palace when he had braids. Like, that was young Holland. You know what I'm
you know,
saying?
and you know, I'm glad you brought up. I think you just mentioned the Palace. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows, especially in St. Louis, Hitman Holla got his legacy kind of started at the Palace, which in St. Louis is a legendary roller rink. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the midst of the promotion, people have um drawn attention to a video of Hitman Holla roller skating. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
listen,
In his
we skate.
house. Thank
That's what we
please
do. We skate.
tell them how
Like
we
it,
get that. Please tell them
look,
how we get that.
listen, all the real killers and drug dealers, they skate. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody skate. The one place you're gonna see everybody at, whether you in the streets, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a judge, whether you're fast food work, whatever it is, like, you're gonna be at the skating rink. Like, you're gonna be at Skate King. You're gonna be for the older folks, right? You was gonna be at the Palace at Saints. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Absolutely.
like, we skate. That's what we do as a city. You know what I'm saying? Certain cities do certain things, and it's other cities that skate like that. You know what I'm saying? I know Baltimore skates like that. I know Chicago skates like that. You know, and for to see people like, oh, well, y'all ain't saying nothing about Cassidy up here. You know, the little goofy ass dancing he be doing in these videos, and
You know what I'm saying?
Hotel was one of the worst songs ever. Um, and yeah, like, but you catch little bro skating, and because he's smooth with it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's an issue. Where we
Man,
from, we skate. Like, you come in there and see somebody on some skates and think they soft if you want to trying. You gonna be
no.
skating too.
Gliding on the floor.
That's a fact.
No, man. You know, I just had to clear that up because again, like you said, man, every city has its own culture, it has its own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only did we bowl, like, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of families, including mine, we was big in bowling. Like, my family was a big bowler when it come to like North Oaks bowling. You know what I'm saying? Like Pete Weber,
Listen,
like, bro, y'all don't
listen,
understand. Like, St. Louis is a hub, man. St. Louis is a hub. Y'all gotta understand.
bro. I got bowling balls in the garage right now in my trunk. Like, we bowl. I got 9 300s. Like, we
On
bowl.
talk.
They're like, I got my own shoes. I got bowling jerseys with my name on it. Like, I bowl in tournaments. Like, we bowl.
They don't
But
understand that.
but come to the bowling alley. Come to the bowling alley and try one of us while we bowl. Like, it's gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? Man, they don't know that life, man. They don't know that life. But I'm glad you was able to clear it up. I'm glad you was able to talk about that, man. So I think me and you both see that battle going the same way, man. Hitman, take care of business on Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Spin the block.
yeah,
Spin
a
the
couple
block.
times.
But URL, there's a lot of stuff going on in battle rap, man. This was one of the main reasons I reached out to you because it's again all these different storylines going on in battle rap. There was a URL drop on the app about a week ago. Oops, the long anticipated debut of Oops on the URL. It finally, I had to like get the crooks out my eyes, make sure I wasn't seeing things, make sure I had to, you know what I'm saying, had to get my glasses right. But Oops on the URL, man, talk about it. How did that happen? And then you got Truffaut. Why when you gotta get on the when you finally get to the URL, they want you to kill somebody from the Midwest?
So this is a funny story about it. Me and P had been talking for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make sense. I've always been able to battle wherever I want to. Now, there was some friction in there, to keep it all the way honest. There was definitely some friction in there. And as folks have been very adamant about who, what I'm saying, they rock with, everybody know how I rock. with RBE. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big reason why that didn't happen for a while. And so after a bunch of conversations, I finally link up with P. P is one of the who like to stay behind the scenes a lot, but P is one of the what I'm saying, he one of the movers. He definitely got some, he's a good dude for one. We had I think me and P talked for like 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? I don't even talk on the phone, let alone that long. But we talked for like 2.5 hours. And it just made sense by the time we got off the phone. And then I had he sent me a couple people, and True Foe was who I wanted because he's from the Midwest, because I know what he's capable of. I know what I could bring out of True Foe, right? I knew I was gonna get a really good True Foe because I know how bro rock with me. You know what I'm saying? And this was a shot, although he was on URL before me, this still was a sort of a shot for him. You know what I'm saying? When you think about resume and so on and so forth. And so, and to be able to create a classic or a really good battle with somebody from the Midwest, especially somebody from the new Midwest, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so, he said, yeah. And at that point, I know bro wasn't expecting what I came with, because I told everybody for the first time in my career, I'm writing to win battles. Like, it's not just about the impact. It's not just about the third round. Like, it's about me punching y'all lights out, like showing y'all I can punch. Like I'm gonna show all year that I can punch. I'm gonna show y'all all year that I got haymakers. And I'm gonna show y'all that I can bring it all together to make one complete battle and still give y'all the oops that y'all know me to be for my third rounds.
No, absolutely. And I'm gonna kind of go over some of my favorite bars from the first and the third, because I will say this, I did have you winning the battle. I took you in the first, and then I took you in the third. I did think that True Foe's second round was very strong. Obviously, you had the little stumble in the second round.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'll say this, bro. Even if I hadn't stumbled, I think he still would have got that round. You could still argue. It would have definitely been debatable, but he had a lot. He had a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because my stumble was so quick, and I bought it right back and started landing them. But he had a lot. You know what I'm saying? He had some of the most creatives. Like,
and I want to give him his respect as well. So I definitely got some highlights from that second round.
Absolutely.
True Foe. But I think some of the ones in the first, one line in the first that I felt like went unnoticed. Don't let the politics fool you about me. You know nothing. You ever had syrup
sandwich on white bread? I will fold.
Oh, bro. It was quick. It was real quick. And I had to highlight that because I don't think the people understood what you was saying.
Listen, my heart was hurt when they did, because it was so many real, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just knew that was that was going to be one of the ones that, and I was like, bro, you ever had syrup sandwich on white bread? I will fold something. What can Oof say to the gangster foe when it's foe dumping? But if I talk about the toy, the foe gunner go from foe gunner to foe runner. What?
Okay, bro.
Hey, look, I was rapping.
Bro, it was tough out there. I'm trying to think. I know definitely the J.R. Smith. I would not glorify you getting shot in the face. You had to get staples. What possibly could you do with me besides find out what it is to get stapled by a staple of your community? Like, because of who you are outside of battle rap, you have to walk a fine line of how you can create, you know what I'm saying, the illusion that you are, or not even the illusion, or how you can present yourself just as gangster, just as aggressive as they are, while also keeping the integrity of who you are outside of battle rap. And I like this battle because it was two different presentations. You had you coming with more of the professional community angle versus True Foe, who was just giving you like their real street talk, gutter talk. Come,
You want street shit? Yeah, that's Foe for you.
no, it was fire, man.
Showtime, what up? Showtime, what up, man?
Oh yeah, you know that's my brother, man. Definitely
Yeah,
Showtime.
Showtime, man. Hey, Show, y'all need to recap my battle, man. I ain't seen no recaps with me and True Foe. I already know.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, put the pressure on you, Show. What you gonna do?
That's a fact.
Hey, and Show, me and you just talked today. We said St. Louis people different, man. He might show up at the doorstep like, "What's up, bro? What's up, bro?" Hey, I'll let you use my notes, man. I got you. I know you're gonna do him justice, but I definitely like where I'm from. You either Allen Iverson or J.R. Smith with the fifth dumping. You may be better than one than the other, but all gonna keep shooting till they hit something. That's crazy. And bro, the analogies that are used,
they both gonna keep shooting till they hit, and that was like a reference to St. Louis and Chicago. Like it don't matter who got the most murders, who got the most, none of that. Like we know where we from. We know what, man.
Hey man, no, that was crazy. But then, like I said, man, in a second, I do got some stuff from True Foe, man.
That's a fact.
Let's see. Oh, he said my block got famous because we put the most names in the morgue. That was wild. That was mean. That one was mean. He said you an ex-gang member turned Democrat. You're gonna have to be gone. I'm gonna have to be called a Crip today because I'm a street nigga. I don't feel comfortable talking to the state. Bro, how do you keep composure in these moments when you hear somebody say something like that to you? What like is that one of like you like kind of just turn away from the camera? You just kind of like look that one off.
So for me, like I don't never really get crazy with reactions. No, like every once in a while I'll get crazy with a reaction. Mm-hmm. Not when I'm battling though, like for the most part. But if you pay attention to my face, I was like I get to shake him. If I do this, that's like, oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. And he had a couple of those moments. Like I know you're gonna say the one, so I'm gonna let you say it. But he had some ones in that second, boy. He definitely was trying to get me up out of that.
I like the Colt 45 out the Mustang. That's horseplay. That was another one, man. Because people heard the Colt 45. I don't think they heard the Colt. They heard the 45, but that Colt 45.
Yeah. Colt 45 out the Mustang. That's horseplay. Yeah, that's crazy.
He said, when you talk in that street and you trying to be you community based, but when he barking on you, he tell you. You know you sound dumb telling a nigga that's been shot 10 times to put the gun down. He was wilding. Hey.
Now listen. Not that I ever told anybody to put the gun down. But when he said it, I'm like, that's great. That's a haymaker.
That one was tough, man. That one was definitely tough. He had, I think, again, probably one of my most favorite ones that around. Ain't nothing but church songs in my head. That's Inquiring Minds.
Yeah, that was fire.
What you get that I missed?
I think when he because it was more the performance. Remember when after he bumped into me,
Ego gang.
He was like, you know what happened after you make a mistake? You say, oops, but he bumped into me. I was like, and then you see me laugh when I like, because I wasn't expecting it, right? And it took me off my feet a little bit. And I'm like, I'm glad we brothers, and it was done the way he did it. Like it wasn't no Ace I mean bump. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
no.
It wasn't no,
Ace, I mean, we trying to get people out the screen.
nah. But I would have to tackle
Yeah,
bro if he
shout out
did.
to Cola. Hey, Cola, next time we get together, we got to talk about this battle, bro, because I know you definitely picked True Foe, and I definitely picked Oops in this one. But when we get to that third,
salute Cola. I see you, family.
when we get to that third round, though.
Hey, listen, it wasn't
Everybody
nothing broken.
Everybody know when it comes to that third round, it's a lot of people third rounds that we talk about. Especially now that you're on the URL, they talk about Geechee Gotti's third rounds. Those third rounds is different. But oops, this third round was nice. I like this third round a lot. A lot, sir. What you gonna tell a man that stood in face of the system and called they bluff? Smokey Mama from Friday, when it was time to create the change, I went and made it enough. That's how you start the round. That's how you
go
start
make it enough. This ain't enough. Go make it enough.
Oh my goodness. It got bad real quick.
It got dark.
He said, this isn't your average oops taking a young brother and lifting them up. This is oops catching one of your air balls and making it look like a dunk. Come on, man. Let's talk about it. And then of course, you know I called the 85% of battles been road games. That's why off the top, I grew into certain places they couldn't think. Road game. Come on, bro. Hey, this third look. Well, salute. Oops, showed great hospitality last time I was in Atlanta. All right. Hey man, that third round. Presidential. The presidential one.
Presidential, how I address him. You from the land of Lincoln? Well, here it go. Y'all think he just now getting to the game? I saw 7 years ago.
Come on. Hey, True Foe, don't be trying to hate on my man either, even if it was 6. Don't be trying to hate. Yeah, I caught you trying to hate. Let
me tell you what he did too. He gonna post a picture of us from St. Louis 6 years ago. But like that was just a picture from 6 years ago. Like I knew you before then. You know what I'm saying? I knew you. That was only his second battle. You know what I'm saying? But
come on,
salute the photo.
He said, let's see. Y'all still on this bow movement and just don't give a fuck. Even after I showed y'all how the system connected the gun to the game like Duck Hunt. That's tough.
You had to connect the gun to the game to shoot the ducks.
Not to mention you said you was banging on the cartridge. Niggas used to remember.
I was banging on the system like the cartridge was stuck.
Come on, man. Let's go
ahead. Hold on. Go ahead and get to that next one.
Foe, I'm 3 times you'll ever be.
Y'all still running for 12.
Come on.
That was the bar of the battle.
Man, it's
it was a lot. That whole third for me might be my favorite written third round. Like might be my favorite third round that I wrote. I didn't write my third round for Daylight. My third round for Daylight was a freestyle. But this was my favorite written third round. Because I knew for a fact that bro could have got in there and rapped his heart out. There wasn't nothing he could do with that round. Yeah. Everybody that heard that round was like, yeah, that ain't, you know, you got to think me and Quest was sparring. Me and Quest have been sparring this whole time. Yeah. So imagine him saying his third round for Cortez versus my third round for, like, that was a, like, hey,
whatever that formula was,
huh?
Whatever the formula was, man. Hey, keep using it. Keep using it. If y'all got to start together to get it.
Listen, I battle again on the 17th. I battle April 17th on URL again. Um, it's another,
Okay.
it's another, it's another app battle. Um,
Can you
I'll
say who it's
probably,
again?
I'll probably let people know like next week.
Okay.
But I already started writing
Mm-hmm.
in my first round. I feel like my first 8 bars of my first round is light years better than my first for True Foe already. And
Uh-oh.
like that's the mindset I'm in. Like
Oh yeah, you
it's
here now.
it's a
You here
man. Listen, when it come to it, you know what it is. For years we watched Robert Ory hit the game-winning shot on different teams. We watched Robert Ory hit championship. Whether it was the Rockets, whether it was the Spurs, you know what I'm saying? Like we seen Robert Ory hit clutch shots, in dire situations. We never thought of Robert Ory as a 30-point a game player. Right? We never thought of Robert Ory in that sense. And for me, every battle rap squad I've been on, like from Writer's Block to Horseman, right? Like I always felt like I was Robert Ory. Like I got moments. You know what I'm saying? Like my brothers, like they got the stats. They got you know what I'm saying? I got a few stats, but like I got the moments. Now I realize that what happens when Robert Ory, his last year in basketball, say, you know what, I got the power to score 30 and average 30 all year, get MVP, win a championship. Like that's how I feel right now. Like I figured out a different formula and it's coming to me way too easily. Like it's gonna get dark for every single. It don't matter who you put in front of me, from True Foe to Lux. Like it's gonna get dark for people. Like it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what type of time I'm on for the rest of the year.
Okay, I like that. I like that type of pressure in 2021. So you got the name that you'll be dropping next week, letting us know who you be battling. Who are some other names that you either want to see or you feel like you gotta see now that you on the URL? Because now you're on the URL, you've touched all these different platforms, and like you said, you're not tied down to one league. So you know what I'm saying. And I would love to. I know. You was at some Riot events. The Riot is another rising league.
I love the Riot. Me and Geechee gotta happen.
Yeah. Talking
I
third
think
round. I
I
gotta
think
hear that third round talk. I'm talking third rounds right now.
I think me and Geechee gonna probably do that on a Riot because that's just gonna be,
That's a
when
fire.
I battled Cali Smooth, I sent the shot at him. Hey Geechee, these third rounds, I became the top in it. I was doing it at a time when nobody wanted to rock with it. Now 6 years later, everybody fist in the air like I get it. Yeah, like we gonna have to talk. JC. Yeah. I'm not battling Cortez, y'all. So I was just talking shit to him. I was trolling him. I don't really troll people that I'm not battling. I have no desire to battle Cortez. That does not motivate me, y'all. So that's one that you won't see. But
I said, oops. I mean, he said chess.
I want to battle chess. I want to battle everybody who they think talks. Like everybody who got that ability to talk. I want to see.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I want easy, right?
That's
Them
where I
all
was
the
going.
ones.
That's
No,
where I
them
was
all the
going.
ones. T-Top, right? Me and T-Top told him after I battled True Foe, T-Top went and did an interview, was like, man, I need to battle Oops. Like, he gonna bring something out of me that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be a different conversation. So for me, like, if you say you talk, let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you say you talk, then, cause anybody who watched me and who been following me know, I'm not in your top 10 punchers. I'm not in your top 10 schemers. Third rounds, you ain't gonna leave me out. Talking, you ain't gonna leave me out. Storytelling, you ain't gonna leave me out. You know what I'm saying? Impact, like you ain't gonna leave me out. And so those who feel like they got that, they feel like they got that. Chess, little bro. Like we chopped it up in Atlanta. He's like, hey, bro, it's probably about time. I'm like, yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah, bro. All right. You gonna, talk to me. You're gonna need Rosetta Stone. Like you gonna have to figure it out because I talk it's different when you hop in front. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, like that's and I only got a couple years left in this. You know what I'm saying? Like I only got a couple years left in this, so I ain't gonna be around for 3, 4, 5 more years, or 2 years max, if that. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That ain't even no. Oh, I'm gonna leave and come back. Like a lot of folks don't know how old I am. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
I'm
that's a
not
fact.
I'm not 30. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 28, 20. I'm not 25. You know what I'm saying? I'm 36, gonna be 37, dog. Like I ain't got time to be. I'm an old man in the game for real. You know what I'm saying? And that's real Showtime. And you know what's funny? I'm glad you said that, show, because it's almost forbidden for you to speak Luck's name if you not up there. But you see all these other legends come out and come outside, right? These other top tiers. You seen Verb battle cats, you seen Rock, you seen Surf, you seen all these cats battle cats, right? And when you say Luck's name, it's like, oh, well, you can't even rap with Lux, so da 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 da, as if rapping is the only part of battle rap. But y'all gave Lux, y'all gave Lux a historic third round versus Calico. But I do these third rounds. So what is gonna look like for me to be able to talk to Lux? Because Lux ain't gonna be able to talk to me like he talks to everybody else. It ain't my job to get in there and out rap Lux. No, I'm not. I can rap, but I'm not. It's not my job to out rap Lux. It's my job to get in there and do what I do better than what he does. And so, when it come down to it, you talk about some legendary talking, some legendary third rounds. Yeah, I've proven that I'm one of the best of them. You know what I'm saying? If not the best at doing that. It ain't nothing that man can say to me. He can't. I ain't no lost nigga. And I got the GPS for the lost niggas. So like, man, you can't. What you gonna say to me? The mind's only intertwined with the time. Nah, that shit don't matter to me, dog. What happened when I start talking to your soul, bro? What's gonna happen when I tell you what you could have done versus Calico? Come on, man. Like, we not doing that, dog.
No, that's a fact,
Lux,
man.
come outside.
You know what I'm saying? Lux, man, it's a couple people want to talk to you, man. How y'all was treating us at Lions Den, man. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to spin the block, man. Hitman about to get our get back on April 3rd, man. So go ahead, Lux.
Yeah, hey, look, hey, let's not forget these fools went on Drink Champs talking about how Trump was a genius.
Oh God.
You and Mook? And you think I ain't got nothing to talk to you? Okay, cool.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Matter of fact, I'm finna start right now.
I'm about to say you better too, because if I clip this the right way, you know what I'm saying? Certain people might see this and make something shake.
All right, they finna kill me in the comments, boy. Oh, what you think you I hate these niggas.
But no, man, man, we have gone 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 20 minutes past time, but
I got another call to get on for work, but man, hey, this was fire. This was fire, hey. No. Anytime, holler at me. This was fire.
No, absolutely, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Again, man, I just want to say thank you from my family to yours, man. Condolences. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I need y'all to understand what y'all seeing, man. It's just two young brothers from St. Louis trying to make it happen. You know, that's all we are. We're intertwined from what our city has done to our family, but we also intertwined because we didn't allow it to hold us back and stop from reaching where we gotta go. That's so let the people know where they can find you, man, and then I'll go ahead and pull the plug on the episode.
Hey, so social media on everything, Bruce Franks Jr. On one word, JR, Bruce Franks Jr. And just holler at me, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. I know y'all, those who've been tapping in, just make sure y'all looking at the Drop the Charges campaign that we've been pushing for the protesters here in Phoenix who've been unjustly prosecuted. I was one of them. My charges were dropped, but it's still 6 more of us. So it's all of us or none of us. Follow Mass Live AZ we just doing a lot to get these charges dropped and hold the police accountable and hold the prosecuting office accountable, which that public pressure is helping. And so just follow me and make sure make sure y'all tapping in and supporting Temperature Check. Like, this is what it's about. Platforms support these platforms, bringing you real content, having real conversation, bringing you real interviews that's actually talking about substance, and not just the foolery that's going on, or trying to create clickbait for views. Like, this is a conversation that folks need to be tapping into. And so I appreciate you, bro. And like you said, my condolences, and from my family to yours, my heart to yours. I know what you're going through. So outside of this, I want to say this publicly, outside of battle rap, the culture, if you ever need to tap in, feel free to, because I know what that's like. And it don't get no easier. But at the end of the day, I salute you for your persistence. I salute you for keeping pushing. I salute you for, even some of the things that I've seen you tweet that I absolutely agree with, and I admire from somebody who's been through that type of trauma. And so we gonna make it, bro. We ain't got no choice. And so I salute you, and you know what it is coming from where we come from. So L's up. I'll holler at y'all later.
No, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. He got me all emotional out here, man. Just doing too much, bro.
That's the third round, bro. That's the third round. That's how they do.
Third round. He got me on the third round. He got me on the third round, bro. But man, this is Temperature Check. I am your host as always, man. Mr. Check the Temperature, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And we just getting started. And be on the lookout, man. After Max Out RBE April 3rd event, I will be going live immediately. Shout out to Showtime SP for gracing me on the platform, doing a live recap, bro. Man, bro, that's how I feel right now, man. Who cutting the onions, man? It's been a hell of a ride, man, but we just getting started, like I always say, man. Y'all be safe, be blessed, and I will definitely talk to y'all soon, man. Temperature Check, we out.